Unlike my anxiety, the train is late. Destination? Indefinite. Well, I'm heading to London, but there's a confined space to contemplate before there's a destination to navigate, and if I allow future thoughts to formulate, they'll accumulate at an alarming rate into an elaborate reason to eradicate what could otherwise be great, enabling my head to gain weight and my anxiety to dictate my next move, whilst my pupils dilate until they're narrow enough to miss the train arriving at platform 8, thereby retreating to accommodate my ability to exacerbate everything, leading to at least 3 days in which I hibernate. Now, I know it's been there for some considerable time, but today I am convinced it's there for me. My favourite colour sprawled out seductively in all its glory, assuring me a lifetime guarantee as long as I, train approaching, stand behind the yellow line. Respect forbidden territory. And I'm boarding, having waited tentatively behind my yellow line. Way behind. Behind everyone else who knows their boundaries a little clearer than I know mine. The doors breathe out, sealing me in just in time, along with the air. The only air I'm allowed for the next 139 minutes. The cogs begin to grind under my feet and in my mind. I have a seat, a relief because I didn't have one assigned, and this carriage is currently nurturing 1/4 of mankind. Opposite, a middle-aged guy. Casual trousers, but with a shirt and a loosened tie. Friendly face. Smiling eyes. All suspicious. I can't yet decide, but I didn't reserve any air either, and he and I are supposed to share the same supply. A voice booms from my right. Is this seat occupied? He's elderly and slight. My lips stay close to airtight for my one-word reply. I didn't keep the conversation short for him to try harder or to be impolite. He hasn't realised he should preserve his breath. I'm trying to share my foresight. Do I have to sacrifice mine if the pregnant lady 3 rows down needs me to oblige because she's breathing for 2? So my actions should coincide with health and safety guidelines. I breathe discreetly, acknowledging it's one of my worst habits. My desired window seat and escape away from all the onboard traffic. But the reality in passing only wreaks havoc with my panic, and how are you supposed to ground yourself when every movement is mechanic? A second train screeches by like a flashback screaming through my mind, makes my heart and breath skip both at the same time. No, I needed that breath, I'd only counted up to 3. Each in-breath is supposed to last up to 5. The air distributes evenly between available lungs, but I require more after the surprise that's just been sprung. The old fella's wasting his with a tune he's decided to hum, and a teenager is expelling one air pocket with every careless chew of their gum. No one will share. Not that I've asked, because I don't desire to conversate with smiling / suspicious eyes guy opposite who has crumbs falling in his lap, who learnt to chew in a helicopter, each mouthful leaving my eardrums mashed, every unconscious tap of his foot forcing my senses into a train crash, and he's looking at me. I can feel his eyes penetrating my cheek. He wants to chat to help time pass, but we have nothing in common except our love of egg and cress sandwiches and our preference of inhaled gas. Why can't he follow the old guy's suit and suddenly settle down for a nap rather than catering to my every distaste, provoking my invisible handicap? If he doesn't stop, I'm gonna do nothing, let's be honest, except sit in discomfort and despair, breathing politely through the involuntary caress of my every sense that assaults me in my chair, imagining the power lines overhead could shock some sense out of me, leaving me less aware, as though causing torture to relieve torture acts as some sort of repair. I like your hair. My eyes dart around, searching for the bullseye. Someone's inhaled too much and I need to suss out who looks high. My movements are becoming shaky, I'm the one who's looking sly. This is the 3rd time my in-breath has had to be retried. I like your hair. Avoid eye contact. Just act shy. I'm not guilty, so why is my instinct to get up, run and hide? All I've done is comply to make sure we all get through this ride, and now my efforts have gone awry and I'm in a lineup being identified. Tiny sounds magnified, air almost completely dry. I want to speak to clarify, but if I open my mouth, I'm gonna cry. Your hair. It's nice. And the first stop is in 2 minutes if you need to step outside. I gaze past the piece of cress balanced precariously on his thigh. Cautiously find his eyes. I know how it feels. I'm probably not the one to give advice, but count your breaths. This will pass, and the air will replenish each time people alight. Air seeped in every so often. During the constricted travel, he encouraged my breathing to soften. I questioned him on his mismatched choice of attire. He explained how travelling in his full suit makes his chest feel on fire. Maybe I'm buying suits one size too small, he laughed. But I'd rather travel comfortably and look like a fool than breathe in gasps. And I'd love to be able to pass the time like that. He pointed towards the elderly chap. But my anxiety would think I was trying to lure it into a trap. He smiled. I smiled back. 100 minutes passed in a back and forth of deep breaths and light conversation. He caught up with my racing heartbeat every time he sensed its escalation. His stop came one before mine. He stood, looked into my eyes and spoke to my heart. You're going to be just fine. Then he waved me goodbye at the window and I felt like a movie in black and white. Although each breath from here took more concentration, I took each one with a smile. As I approached London Euston, I realised I didn't even ask his name. But it turns out he had smiling eyes. And maybe he'll remember the girl he helped on the train. I'll remember him. How he complimented my hair. Our shared sandwich preference. But most of all, the kind man who shared with me his air. Well, I'm heading to London, but there's a confined space to contemplate before there's And if I allow future thoughts to formulate, they'll accumulate at an alarming rate into enabling my head to gain weight and my anxiety to dictate my next move. I really need to actually say the words. It sounds like I'm just going tet. And if I allow future thoughts to formulate, they'll accumulate at an alarming rate into an elaborate lesion. And if I allow future thoughts to formulate, enabling my head to gain weight and my anxiety to dictate. Okay. Enabling my head to gain weight and my anxiety to dictate. Enabling my head to gain weight and my anxiety to dictate my next move. I can't say anxiety to dictate. That's why I can't say it. Whew. And my anxiety to How do you say that? And my anxiety to dictate my next move. Okay, well done. Proud. And my anxiety to dictate. And my anxiety to dictate. There you go. Alright, put that one in. Now, I know it's been... Oh, damn it. That was an easy word. Was the word there? I know it's been... There. Why can't he follow the old guy's suit and settle down for a nap? Right. Yeah, that didn't go so well. But the reality in passing only wreaks havoc with my panic, and how are you supposed to ground yourself when every movement is mechanic? Yeah, shelf. Your shelf. How are you supposed to ground your shelf? My favourite colour sprawled out seductively in all its glory, assuring me a life-going guarantee. Was my pupils dilate until they're narrow enough to miss the train arriving at platform 8, thereby retreating to accommodate my ability to exacerbate everything? Why can I do it when I'm not actually trying to do it? That's so annoying. Having waited tentatively behind my yellow line. I don't like it, so why am I carrying on? Breathing politely through the involuntary caress of my every sense that assaults me in my chair, imagining the power line overhead could... This every day me I lock down the street, so we chop it.